I actually have a new piece of work that I just did, just actually specifically for today, and I'm going to show it. This is it. So I made this image this month, and this is my bris. That's June 28th, 1973. And that's a composite image. It's a collage, but it's all taken from the same film. It's a single 3-minute film of my bris that was taken that day. And you can see it's a sort of cast of characters. There's my grandpa is on the right holding the wine that is soaked into the cotton that he's putting in my mouth as the anesthetic. And I later learned that role is, I think he's the sandik, right? The one who hands the child over to the mohel. The mohel's got the surgical mask and cap on. The rabbi's holding a glass of wine, and he has the yarmulke. My dad is to the left of the rabbi. My mom's to the right of the rabbi. My brother's 3 years old, and my dad's holding him. And so this is, I'm trying to go to the next frame here. There we go. This is the actual film of my bris. So the image that I made is a collapsed version of this film. I collapsed it into a single frame. And I'll talk more about that in a second when it finishes. It's short. Okay, so that's the whole film of my bris. And for me, this image here summarizes that film and that moment into a single frame, sort of collapses that film and summarizes the moment. And the other thing that I see when I look at this film is I see, two generations of my family before me standing over me, passing, transmitting this ritual of Jewish identity. Left to right, I see my dad's Uncle Ed, my Uncle Ed, Uncle Bill, Aunt Val, then my brother, my dad, the rabbi, my mom, Aunt Val, Cousin Lois, Cousin Ricky, who lived across the street and dressed up as a clown for my birthday, the Moyle, my grandpa, and my Aunt Ruth, who took care of me when I had the chicken pox. And in the back is a nurse who was there, and she was helping, and she had an important role as well. And so, I see this kind of like ancestral overhang in a way that's sort of looming over me, and I still feel that as a person, and I think it actually explains why I'm here today, at a Jewish, art event. So let's fast forward. The next thing I brought is I brought two texts. First was my bris. The second is my bar mitzvah. So, let's fast forward 13 years, and here we are. My brother's all grown up on the left. He was actually on medication at the time and made his cheeks puff up. And I really remember that. He was in the hospital, and he was on steroids, and he was really slim, but his cheeks were really puffed up, and he hated it. And my mom and dad are there behind me. And, so this conference is about Jewish texts, and I need to make sure this is plugged in, but it's about Jewish texts, and it's about performing Jewishness is the term that really resonated with me. So here's some footage from my bar mitzvah.
Our Haftarah portion for this Shabbat is taken from the book of Habakkuk.
Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim, v'ratza b'divreihem, hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, abocher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo, u'Yisrael amo, u'b'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Okay, so wait, I need to pause this. So I go on to my Torah portion was Habakkuk, who is a minor prophet, and I went to synagogue. I was in a Reform synagogue in Chicago for a few months before. I went to Hebrew school for 10 years, and then for the months preceding my bar mitzvah, I studied with a cantor, and I memorized this song of this Torah portion, and I recited it there, as you saw. And then I gave a speech in English about my Torah portion and to my friends and family and to the congregation, which I also have.
Dear Rabbi Weisberg, Rabbi Levinson, Mom, Dad, Benji, Grandma, Grandpa, family, and friends. I am very happy that you are all here this morning to share this important day of my life. Today, I am joining my fellow Jews in shouldering my responsibility to God and Israel. My Haftorah portion is chapter 3 of Habakkuk. Chapter 3 is a psalm, which describes what God's power will be like when he comes to judge the earth. God will come from Mount Paran and bring with him the brightness of fire. He will cause swift destruction on the wicked people. Habakkuk believes this destruction will be through war, and that as a result, the people of Israel will throw off the oppressor's yoke. However, in the process, there will also be a loss of crops, resulting in famine. Yet, even with these terrible consequences, Habakkuk says, the Israelites will rejoice, and that they will be blessed by God, because they will be free and independent once again. This prophecy is similar to modern Israel, trying to protect itself by defending its borders and attacking terrorists who want to murder Jewish people. The results of such actions can be painful for Israel. Battle is never easy or pleasant, but eventually the people of Israel, all Jews, will rejoice because someday Israel will live at peace with all people, and our people will flourish. And with that, their crops will grow, and their cattle will provide food and milk for all. Becoming bar mitzvah means a lot to me, because it represents a new beginning. Now, I will join many of my family members and friends in having a Jewish experience. It does not mean that I'm finished with all of my learning and participation in Judaism. It means I will do more of both. Becoming bar mitzvah is not an ending. It is only the beginning of a new phase of maturity. I would like to thank my teachers, Rabbi Weisberg, Rabbi Levinson, Tamar, Cantor Danzinger, you, Mom and Dad, Benji, family and friends for helping me come to this day. May we be able to struggle against evil and injustice. May we overcome hatred and oppression and bring fulfillment to Habakkuk's prophecy. Amen.
So a few things I want to say about that, and I'm gonna actually. Okay, there we go. If I go back to the slide where my notes are, it'll replay. But so I just need to turn it off for a second. But I approached this text of my bar mitzvah as a text, and I, wanted to grapple with it. And I reread Habakkuk, which most of you are probably not familiar with since he's a minor prophet. I talk about the terrible wrath of God described in that passage. God is going to come with this great, the brightness of fire and, natural disasters, essentially, and troops in the form of foreign armies to come to cast out sin and sinners, and that also to deliver us from oppression. So I think that I actually accurately captured that in the speech. And then I make this analogy to modern day Israel, which is incredibly weak. So that's a terrible analogy. So I don't know where I got that from, but I was under the tutelage of a number of people there at the synagogue. And then at the end, I ask for the fulfillment of Habakkuk's prophecy. And basically, what I want to say is, and just to conclude, is that 23 years later, I completely retract this proclamation. So that's all. Thank you.